Hello friends, welcome back. I'm Beth, here to help you fulfill your potential in meditation. As most of you know, I don't have just one method that I teach to everybody, like one size fits all. Instead, I much prefer to teach people one-on-one. And the reason is that you're all different. So please use these videos as a guideline, and if there's anything that isn't quite working for you or anything that doesn't quite fit, then be in touch and I'll be more than happy to discuss those things with you one-on-one. Today's video is about not sitting with a clock or a timer when we meditate. Now, I want to start out by acknowledging sometimes we need a clock or a timer. Sometimes we've got a busy day, we've got a lot to get done, and we need a clock or a timer to make sure that we keep all our appointments. But if we're in retreat or we've got the luxury of free time, then we really want to avoid sitting without a meditation timer or a clock. In the time of the Buddha, I'm pretty sure the monks didn't sit with a little meditation timer, and so we don't want to be doing that either. Now, there are a few different reasons why sitting with a clock or a timer isn't a good idea, so let's take those one by one. Well, the first reason that sitting with a clock or a timer isn't so good for us is because it can oftentimes provide a sense of false motivation. And by that I mean it motivates us through our defilements, especially our pride. So we might have this feeling like, yes, I sat for 1 hour, or yes, I sat for 2 hours, so I did really well. So at that time we're not genuinely motivated by removing our defilements and making an end of suffering. Instead, we're motivated by winning some game against the clock. It's a false motivator in our practice. The second reason it's not always a good idea is because it can allow for substandard practice. So when we set the goal in our practice as sitting to the timer, then oftentimes we can get into this frame of mind where it doesn't really matter what we do with our minds until the timer goes off, as long as we sit until the timer. And so we can practice in a way that isn't fully engaged. It's not our best quality practice because part of us is just waiting for the timer to go off. But the third and most important reason that it's not a good idea to practice with a timer is because we rob ourselves of the opportunity to see the defilements that pull us out of practice. When we sit with no timer, there will come a time in the practice where our defilements start to arise. We start to feel like, okay, I've had enough of this practice now, it's time that I get up. When we don't have a bell or a timer, we can use that as an opportunity to learn more about our defilements, to engage our wisdom, to overcome those defilements and bring ourselves back into the practice. In this way, we gain resilience and strength as a meditator. We become increasingly more skillful. If we set a bell or a timer and those defilements start to pull us out, we're more likely to think, okay, I better just sit here until the timer goes off. Or we never get to the point of those defilements arising because the bell or the timer has rescued us. So these are some of the reasons why I encourage you to sit without a bell or a timer whenever possible. If you're on retreat, if you've got the luxury of free time, throw those meditation timers away and enjoy your practice free from the burden of the meditation timer. If there's anything that's unclear to you, anything that you're unsure of, if you're very attached to your meditation timer and you're not sure what to do without it, then be in touch with me. I'll be more than happy to discuss the details with you one-on-one. But for now, it's the time to get off of those screens, get onto the cushions, actually do the practice, try and do the practice without the timer and see what happens. There's a remainderless ending of all suffering, so let's not waste time. As most of you know, I do all of my work on a donation basis. So I encourage you to support me either through Patreon or through my website so that I can continue to make these videos. Thank you so much for your support. Wishing you the best with your meditation.